Magically and belatedly yours. It's back. It's the Kill Your Gods podcast. It won't stay dead, even though it wants to. It has lost the will to live. My name is Jesse Dram. I am the host. I guess I'm not recording an intro this week. Sometimes you just start that and it's like, okay, I'm not recording an intro this week. I am covered in fucking poison oak. I am slowly dying. My guest this week to talk about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, chapters 6-9. Your friend and mine. He's a comedian. He's a saxophonist. He's a dad. His name's Steve Bickel.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, get that cough out.
Yeah, get that dying
with your fucking
out.
scurvy face.
Oh yeah, if you're not watching the video version of this right now, my eyes are puffy and pink, and frankly, it's the best they've looked all week. One of the very first things I got was I woke up in the morning and I just had like a tiny little like fucking midget pussy eyelid just swollen shut.
Yeah, I never got it in my eyes. I have gotten it on my dick, but not my eyes. I've gotten it on my asshole too.
I got it a little bit near my asshole. Thankfully,
Yeah.
it cleared up on its own. I think my asshole is just a toxic enough area that like it's a little bit like an event horizon in a black hole where just like no life can exist. Yeah. So yeah, that was actually right where we started recording because we were talking about poison ivy on the dick, and I'm like, okay, we have to bring this to the people.
I had poison ivy on when I was a kid. I had it on my dick so bad I had to have taken off at least a couple layers of skin, scratching. Oof. It was just it. I can remember. It's one of those things that like this could be like 30 years ago. And I can remember the exact feeling to this day that everything else I could deal with, but yeah, getting it on your, and the thing about like getting it on your balls is it's not like a flat surface, that you can really, scratch at. You got to flatten them out a little bit, and then you got to really get in there. It's a lot of fun.
One of my favorite things with my wife is like, obviously, men and women have different parts, or depending.
I've heard.
I'm just going by the broad, and I'm ignoring all the modernism of that. Yeah, men and women have different parts, and it's funny. You like get used to them a little bit, but then there's like little shit that you need to be like married to notice. Like I'm pretty sure I showed my wife very recently. Like, oh no, I'm gonna stretch out my ball skin like a canvas, and you put your iPhone light behind it and watch it light up like ET's fingers. Like she didn't know that happened.
Here's the thing. Everybody has different relationships. The only, I've been, I don't, and this is no disrespect towards you, but I would do that with you before I would do that with my wife. Just because some semblance of in a relationship.
You need to keep the intimacy there. That's too close.
I will leave a room I've been with my wife like almost like 20 years. I will leave a room if I have to bust ass.
That's not a life worth living, Steve Bickel. I'm sorry. I'm glad you have such concern for your wife's delicate Victorian nostrils, but
why? I don't want to be sitting around and we're just farting around legitimately, no pun intended, and leave a little mystery in the relationship. I still don't think my wife poops.
Ooh, yeah, I will say this with my wife, pretty much all my exes I have seen poop at one point or another. Not even like a sex thing, it's just there sometimes. I have not seen my wife's poop. And
good. You should keep it that way.
That is a good thing. You should try to. That's the poop anniversary. 35 years.
No, I mean, but let's say we were living together. Okay. Why would I just walk in while you were shitting? Wouldn't I be like, hey, close the door? That's your private time. I don't need to be in there having a conversation with you. So why would the person that you're spending your life?
All right, you broke up for a second there, but I will answer. We talked about seeing poop. We were not discussing walking in on somebody pooping. That has happened all the time, all the time. And
I think I got kicked off for a second, but I'm back.
You did. I kept the ball in the air. We were
Good.
talking very
Yeah.
different things. We were talking about seeing. I thought when you said saw your wife's poop, I thought we were talking poop the noun and not poop the verb. I have absolutely seen my wife poop the verb. I have seen her in the act of pooping. I have not seen the specimen. Yeah, no, she wanders in on me all the time when I'm pooping. I don't care for it, but what am I gonna do?
You can wait. I'm like that even with my kids. I'm like, shut the door. I don't want to be involved. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a weirdo. Like, to each his own. This isn't a hard rule. Whatever works for you. You can shit all over each other. That's great.
Daddy needs some boundaries, and it's important to put those down there because I remember, dude, I had a friend whose his mother was from Germany, and so I don't know, they just had a whole weird European aspect to everything. I had a pizza delivery to his house when I was delivering once, and he just tells me to come in. He's sitting on the fucking toilet, and his sister is doing her makeup in the mirror, and they're like 19 and 17 at this point.
No.
I don't know, just a gross.
Is that a European thing?
I just look at it as a gross German thing.
That's a family that has no boundaries, and that's definitely like a therapy thing later in life right there. That's not normal.
Our bodies on Aryan and pure, therefore even the waist is beautiful from the master waist. Anyway, this is a Harry Potter podcast, I think.
You can cut all that shit.
Oh, it's all going in. Bickel, before we start, where can we find you online? Do you have anything to promote right now?
Steve Bickel on Facebook, Speakeasy Philly on Instagram, even though I'm more of a Facebook person, I'm old. I got just some shows and stuff coming up. I post everything on there, so if anybody wants to come see me, the best thing would be.
We lost them. This is a bad connection we got here, guys. If worse comes to worse, I will just do this myself because you guys have waited long enough. Oh, God, what a miserable fucking week. I really hope I don't have tetanus. I really want a beer. Oh, is he back? He might be. Chapter 6, Platform 9 3/4. Yeah, man, we keep losing you. I can see you're back now, but
You want me to try my phone real quick?
yeah, you know what? Try your phone because honestly, the audio is not much different than it was before. Okay. So yeah, set that up. I'll bullshit for a minute.
Okay, I'm going to cut off for this and then come in on there.
All right, sounds good, buddy. Oh yeah, Philly comedy news. We have had our annual Philly's Funniest contest, and the winner, I could not be prouder to say, my buddy Joe Murdoch, fucking dark horse if there ever was one. Fucking one-liner extraordinaire, worships Weird Al, fucking killed it. So go check out Joe Murdoch wherever you see him. I'm gonna have him at the Flying Fish Brewery in Somerdale, New Jersey. I think we're gonna have him on the September show, but yeah. I'm glad he made it. He is a great guy. You back, Bickel?
Yeah. Sorry, man. I'm in like a dead zone here. How are you with your Wi-Fi and shit over there?
I'm pretty good. It's on new internet, but we got it because we're not in a 2-bedroom apartment. We actually bumped it up a little bit. Also, my wife's company pays for her internet, so you're like, yeah, fuck it, get the 30 mega tonnage 5G shit that's gonna make me infertile. I'm all about it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but yeah. So so let me get this straight. So you read Harry Potter and then you tell me about it because I'm going to be honest with you. I've never read the books or seen the movie. So you're just telling me everything about the book, so I get into it.
All right. Well, we had some miscommunication here because I thought you read these chapters. Okay.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm just screwing with you, buddy. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm a big HP fan.
Yeah, tell me your story. Especially,
I can give you my background.
Give me the background. Also, I'm
with
curious.
That.
Yeah, give me your background with it. I'm also curious, you as a father, how you've gotten kids into it, if you have gotten them into it.
No, that's one thing they want nothing to do with it. I have tried several times. Uh, I'm guessing maybe they're still too young. But I've tried like the movies, I've tried reading the book, and yeah, I mean, these kids now, man, everything is, if it's not a YouTube 30-second clip, they don't want anything to do with it. But I mean, I was older when it came out, and I wasn't reading like any, young adult, whatever it's called, fiction at that time, because I was probably like 19, and I went and saw when the first movie came out. I went and saw it with my mom, had a little mom date.
Mom date.
Yeah, a little mom date. She never gave out though, but we went and saw it. And then, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was a great movie. It definitely, I mean, I'm a big Goonies fan and things like that. So anything like that, I really enjoyed. But then I interned at a radio station that is no longer in existence.
94 WYSP?
B101.
Oh, okay.
Easy female listening. That was their target audience. So I fit right in. But they were giving away, there were 4 books out at the time, and they were giving away the box set, and they were like, do you want one? And I was like, I mean, I read all the time. And I took one, so I got like a nice box set. And I think the second movie was coming out at the time, so I actually started with the second book, and I would read it on the train going back and forth to Temple. And so then I went through those ones, went back and reread the first one because I didn't read it, and realized how, I mean, the first movie is pretty good. It's true. They put in everything that they could. As you read these, you'll see what they had to keep out. There's a few things like later in the series that I'm really pissed that they took out it, because I think it would have a lot of political stuff, and just a lot of, she did a lot of stuff, with racism and class system, which is still very big over in England and stuff. But
very big in England and nowhere else. We have, of course, eradicated it here.
Yeah, but no, so yeah, and then I read it on the train, and I became like I didn't wait in line for the books, but I did pre-order them. So I did make sure that I had one when they came out. And then me and my wife were by 5, 6, 7, we were reading them together, so yeah. And then I probably reread the first one. I love Goblet of Fire, so I definitely reread that one again. I think I listened to a couple on audio, and of course saw the movies and everything like that. But
that's awesome. So you actually started a little bit where I was. They had already come out when I was still like maybe at like the high age for them, but at that point I was already a full depressed, like, I'm going to read Kurt Vonnegut and Hunter S. Thompson because I am a world weary 16-year-old that has never got his dick sucked.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I probably would have been the same way. I was an open-minded 20-year-old. I wouldn't have read them probably when I was 16. And I love Vonnegut. I mean, I've read everything he ever wrote, and I'm actually glad a lot of the stuff I read later in life than when I was 16, because I probably definitely wouldn't have understood half the shit I read.
You get an entirely different, like, I always thought Slaughterhouse-Five was a little overrated in his canon. I went back and reread that for the first time in like 14 years and just blew my mind out my asshole. Like, it was great.
I have what's funny though? I have no, I can't recall, like, so I remember I read a lot of, I've read like a lot of Vonnegut, late teens, early 20s. Then I'm going to say about 8 years ago, 9 years ago, I read everything. I literally just went through, on Audible. I read, not Audible, the one that you can read on the tablet, whatever it was before Kindle. Audible, Kindle. I went through, read everything, but like, I don't know. I'm so bad at retaining shit now. Like if you started going through the plots, then I'd go, okay, that's that one. Like, because some of them are very, they tie in a lot and shit like that. I'm like, I don't even know.
Okay.
I mean, Slaughterhouse-Five, I know.
We're gonna try this. Rabo Karabakian is a one-eyed Armenian painter, and a widow starts harassing him in his mansion about the painting that he keeps hidden in the barn.
Yeah, see, sounds familiar. Couldn't tell you.
The answer was Bluebeard. I actually
Yeah.
loaned that. I loaned that to Neil Wood. I never anticipate getting it back, but
It's actually it's. I've finished books, and my wife's like, what was it about? I'm like, I'm home. I don't know. You think I'm going into like a state? You know what I mean? Like, that's not normal to like for somebody to sit there, read a book. And it's almost like how some people will listen to like an album. It's like and kind of zone out. I literally read a book and zone out. I mean, I have to be retaining something. That's like I finished the Dark Tower series. I read them all of them. I can tell you a little bit about what those 9 million pages were about, and I'm like, I don't know. I guess I can't retain fucking information anymore.
You know what I'm actively trying to do with music is just because I listen to new music and I like it, but then none of it ever stays with me. I have been actively trying to like listen to new albums several times in a week. Because you think about it before, that's how all your favorite songs got into your brain. You bought a CD as a fucking teenager, and then you only had like 5 CDs in your car, so you ended up cranking this thing all the time until it burned into your DNA.
Yeah, I'll still go back and listen. I was doing that all last summer. I would just pick like an album and just listen to it from beginning to end, like every day. I don't know, with music, I don't forget melodies, but for some reason with books, it's just, I don't know. And I read all the time. I mean, I probably read, I shouldn't say all the time, but I'm good for at least 13, 14 books a year.
Oh, okay.
So I like to read. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I was reading too much and it's not sinking. I don't know. It's not sinking in because I always thought that, how like they're like, oh, well, they're well read, so they're intelligent. I'm like, well, I must be the opposite because it's not sinking in. Like, I've read Moby Dick. I don't think it made me a smarter person.
No, there's tricky ways about that because I give some of our mutual friends shit for not really reading books, and I guess there is other art they're taking in. It's I don't know. There's a big ADD aspect to it that I'm not really sympathetic to because I know like a lot of our friends is like, well, I try to read and I just can't pay attention. Like, yeah, you've been watching fucking Batman for 30 fucking years. If it's not green and pink, it gets caught at the first lock. It's like I've been doing cocaine since I was 5. Why doesn't soda get me excited?
That's a good analogy. No, yeah, but anyway, Harry Potter. I feel like, see, we're probably the worst people to be on a podcast because we'll just get way off topic.
That's fine. What we're gonna do, we're gonna get into the summary here, and as we do that, just anytime we have something to discuss, we'll just stop and discuss.
These are like major chapters.
Yes, we are still in the firm world building chunk of this.
And this is probably, I'd argue that these 3 chapters are like, I mean, they're like, they're definitely, I mean, there's the main characters are basically introduced in these 3 chapters.
Yes.
So yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Real quick for a pre-cap from the last episode, Harry Potter is an abused kid who lives in a fucking pantry. One day, a fucking owl tells him, "You're magic Jesus." We found out that fat people are the most evil people in England, and Harry's going to magic school. And that's pretty much it. So.
Oh, real quick. If you say Hagrid more than once, I'm done. I'm off. It's Hagrid.
Meg Getz told me it was Hagrid.
No. I just listened to it. She keeps telling you it's Hagrid, and you keep saying Hagrid.
I don't
think of a hag,
speak.
like a witch.
I am American. I do not speak these mud people dialects. Okay, That's
Well,
that's for the racist Brits to sort out amongst themselves.
so
Hagrid.
if you heard that there was a witch, what's another word for a witch?
A cunt. My wife. Hagrid.
It
I didn't mean to
would
say
be
my wife's a cunt like that. I mean, my wife's kind of witchy. All right.
Yeah, I know.
A hag. Rid the hag. Hagrid. Okay.
There you go. Hagrid.
All right.
I think
So,
you're good now.
I think we got it. Chapter 6, Platform 9 3/4. Harry's last month with the Dursleys is unpleasant. The day before he is due to leave, Harry asks Uncle Vernon to take him to the station. Uncle Vernon agrees to, but ridicules him for saying he is to leave from track 9 3/4, as is marked on the ticket Hagrid gave him.
Mm.
The following day, Harry arrives at the station and stands between tracks 9 and 10 with a thumb up his ass, wondering how to find track 9 3/4. Finally, he overhears some people mention Hogwarts. It is a family of red-headed children who seem to be bound for the academy. He asks the mother for help, and she tells him to walk through the barrier between tracks 9 and 10. Harry does so, and he is astonished to find the train to Hogwarts on the other side. Harry boards it. How do people not see this fucking thing? Like, how many... think of trusting a little kid to do something secretly so people don't see.
Well, you have to also be magic to cross through it. So you would just run into the pillar.
But what if I saw somebody else go through? Would an entire train station be like, I guess we all just hallucinated 40 or 50 children?
Yeah, because you're early in the books, and they get more into that where there's different spells and everything, where the Muggles don't see, because they do venture out into the real world on several occasions, and there are enchantments and spells that block that we would not see them performing this magic.
Okay. So there's a greater thing at play. This isn't just a bunch of fucking gingers. Find any
holes. Yeah, there are no holes in this story. I mean, I know you and Meg were talking about, did she plan all that? She 100% planned all this out. I mean, because there's things that she wrote in this book that are so buried that are major things, or just little hints to things to come. She had this thing, like, I mean, being a writer, I never wrote a novel. I write plays, I write screenplays and things like that, short stories I've done. I know the whole thing about, as you're writing, the juices start going. But there are writers who have everything planned out, and they know that 7 books in, this is going to happen, so they're just going to plant that little tiny thing that, we'll get into that in like a later chapter. But there's no holes, I don't think, in this. So when you're like, well, how don't they see that, they explain it later. You'll get to all that as you get deeper into the books.
Okay. On the train, Harry is introduced to Fred and George Weasley, twins who are returning to school, and to their brother Ron, another student who will be starting at Hogwarts. Ron introduces Harry to such details of wizard life as Quidditch, which is like soccer on broomsticks, famous witches and wizards cards, which are collectible items like baseball cards, and every flavor beans, which contain every flavor of jelly bean, even horrible flavors. One of the cards bears the picture of Albus Dumbledore and just happens to mention a certain partner that he does magic with named Nicholas Flamel. Bet that won't come out. Ron, who comes from a poor family, cannot afford the pastries sold on the train, so Harry buys a lot with his newfound wealth and shares them with Ron. So, never read these books before, so I can only assume that the Weasleys are filthy Irish Catholics.
That's pretty much what I was going to say. Yeah, she definitely was like, there's even more of them too. There's the youngest daughter, there's an
Jenny.
older brother. Yeah, so there's a ton of them, and it's Nicholas Flamel.
Right, exactly. What is that? Flannel? Whatever.
You always put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. It's like, I'm trying to figure out.
Quit being never mind. I was gonna say something. So, but all right. So here's where this is where it gets fun to just shoot along. Where it's like, okay, well, they're filthy Irish Catholics. They don't pull out. That's why they have 7 disgusting redheaded children. However, if you are magic, how does Catholicism? I want to know what the magic reasoning is for not using a condom, unless it's the same reasoning I use, which is just it dulls the magic, and it just doesn't feel as good.
The only thing I can think of with that is, in this world, you must want to have those kids because they have a fucking spell for everything. So there's got to be a spell for not having a child. I guess it's safe to assume the Weasleys won't have like 19 friggin' kids, but they're also dirty and, you know, everything's like a weird hand-me-down and everything. It's, yeah,
Right.
they do really lay it on. They are the Irish Catholics of the wizarding world.
Yeah.
I will agree with you on that one.
I will say they're very friendly as opposed to these families you meet in real life. In real life, you meet these and it's just like a cacophony of like fighting and freckles. And of course, there's like the one cute sister that like you're kind of afraid of. Like you get your first hand job from her, but then she's gonna like kill your dog.
Well, that's in the second book. He does get a hand job from the younger sister. It's, I don't know what chapter it is, but it happens pretty early. It's pretty interesting.
Harry Potter and the hand job of secrets. All the secret hand jobs we got at schools, let me tell you. Oh God. All right. We might have to jump back onto this because you know what's happening is we're limited to only 40 minutes if we have beyond. But here's the thing, no. Usually that's only if we've had more than 2 guests, but you and I have both signed on under multiple things. So if that's the case, we can just sign out and come back. Actually, you know what? Let's just do that real quick. Let's sign out real quick and then sign right back in, and that'll fix everything. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We're going to do that. All right. Fucking Zoom. We're already set up to continue. So Harry also meets a somewhat annoying, overachieving girl with bushy hair named Hermione Granger and sees again the unpleasant boy from the uniform shop whose name is Draco Malfoy. All the students.
Classic Aryan.
Classic what?
They're like classic Aryan nation, that whole family.
Oh yeah, like they're very like you see this in like video games a lot when there's a villain who's like their hair is the same color as their skin.
It's a kid's book, so she had to go over the top with the villains. Like they have to be like there's no guessing who the bad people are.
Right. And I know enough about the series to know that he has his redemptions along the way. But
yeah, much farther along the way.
Right. Arriving at the station, the newcomers are led into boats in which they sail to the castle of Hogwarts. So, Steve, we got to get your Harry Potter allegory. You are 11 years old. Who was your partner in crime? Who was your enemy? Who's the girl who may or may not be a love interest someday? You tell me. I will say, much like Harry, mine was also the redheaded girl. My dad had a friend in his biker gang that he ran with, and his daughter was, I'll just say Stephanie, and she was my childhood crush. And then 10 years later, we fucked once or twice, and it was great.
Was
magical, I'll say.
Nice. I was afraid it was going to be a letdown. I never. So if I'm 11,
her breaking up with me right after, quite the letdown. Sex itself, great.
Good for you, buddy. I'm glad that worked out. No, I did not. I'm trying to think. I'm 11. Well, here's the thing. I'm still best friends with my best friends from when I was 11. So
okay. So who's your Ron?
My buddy Kevin is my Ron. The girl would definitely be my other buddy's sister, who God, man, I still do. I mean, and I shouldn't. I'm not going to say anything because I'm afraid.
Dude, yeah, friend sister crushes are something else.
Yes, no. I mean, to this day, I'm still like I can look back fondly and go, yeah, that was her.
Was it your friend's older sister?
No, she was my age.
Oh.
They were also a family of like 50. So all of them were like a year apart. Mm-hmm. So she was my age and he was actually a year younger than me. Okay. But yeah, so I got that. What else do I have to hit?
Your enemy.
Oh, the Carpenters, the whole family.
Oh, dude, I love a family of enemies. It is so trash suburban. Tell me about the Carpenters.
The Carpenters, and they were blonde too. No, they were a family of psychopaths, like father just out of prison or in prison, and they would like walk around the neighborhood with like shirts off, which when you don't have a shirt on, you're pretty badass. Yeah. And No, like they're not even like fun bullies like from movies where you're like that's the bully, but then by the end he's all right. No, they were psychopaths. They were like, kick you when you were down, break your finger type of bullies. And they would just walk around. Oh man, with the one Kenny Carpenter. Ugh.
Oh, that is a dirty, violent kid's name, Kenny Carpenter. Yeah,
did you? Spider-Man.
Did you ever see the Elijah Wood movie, The War, with the lip Mickeys? The War.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like
when
that.
He's like a little kid.
He's like a little kid, and they have there's a family of rednecks who are just violent as fuck.
Well, what's funny? That's what they were like. They were like rednecks. See, I'm in Southwest Philadelphia, and they were like, I don't know where they came from, but I think I was talking to my dad one time, and he was saying how, that family, like one of those families, like they were bad from the get-go, like since like the 30s. There's been carpenters roaming around Southwest Philadelphia that just, I feel bad to an extent as an adult because they didn't have any friends. They just walked around beating people up.
Yeah.
It
was the only expression they learned.
Or getting beat up. But then it's not like in the movies also where it's like, oh, if you beat them up, they go away. No, they just keep coming back.
Yeah.
Until they get like their revenge, and then they come back with like a baseball bat. So they were like, honestly, you saw them and you'd see them from like 2 blocks away and you'd be like, we got to go the other way. The Carpenters are down there.
Yep. They always ran in a pack.
There would always be at least 2 of them. I think there were like 5 of them, but there would always be at least 2 together because they didn't have any friends.
Yeah.
It was, they were dirty. They were always dirty.
It's one of those things, no matter how old I get, there are some people I just cannot have sympathy for. And just, I think
I don't have much for them. I'm sure they've had very hard lives if they're even alive. Like if somebody was like, oh, I heard that. No, they're all dead. I'd be like, yeah, that makes about sense. Like, yeah, I once saw them.
They're also that group. Those kinds of groups tend to procreate very quickly. Like they pass on to the next generation.
Yeah, they're like roaches. They don't live long, but they have about 100 kids before they die. Yeah. They were. Oh man, they were fucking brutal. I saw him beat up a kid and his pants fell off and he had no underwear on and he kicked the shit out of this kid bare ass.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so
imagine getting your ass kicked by a naked person.
It does not sound fun. God. Okay. Chapter 7, the sorting hat.
No, not at all.
All right. The new students are greeted at the castle door by Professor McGonagall, who tells them they will soon be sorted into their houses. All Hogwarts students live in one of 4 residences: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin. Each has its own team for Quidditch. Their houses are in a year-long competition with one another to acquire the most points, which are earned in Quidditch games and lost for student infractions. As the students enter Hogwarts, ghosts appear in the hallway. That's right, folks. Not only magic, ghosts exist. The students are led to the Great Hall where the entire school waits for them. They see a pointy hat on a stool. When students try it on, this is the sorting hat. The hat will announce in which house they will be placed. Harry becomes nervous. He has learned that he does not care for Slytherin house, as the students in it are unpleasant, and Voldemort once belonged to Slytherin. Finally, it is Harry's turn to wear the hat. After a brief mental discussion with the hat in which it tries to suggest Slytherin to him, he places him in Gryffindor. I don't know why I just gendered the sorting hat, but oh well. Harry is pleased to find that he is joined in Gryffindor by Ron and Hermione. Draco is placed in Slytherin. All right, Bickel, I feel like this is the big one that every fucking Harry Potter podcast has to do. Which house are you in?
Gryffindor all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gryffindor. Because I think personality wise, and I shouldn't have given it as much thought as I have. Personality wise, I'm definitely Gryffindor because I feel like they're full of like the biggest saps, if you will. Like, like the people that are always trying to help people but sort of getting shit on in the process. Like
Neville.
Just generally, good people. I think she's broken it up very well into categories of people. And I think the Gryffindors are definitely like the people who got the most empathy, just trying to help people out, and wind up getting shit on by other people. But they're still good people. Like, yeah.
You have to remind me, what are the characteristics for the Ravenclaws and the Hufflepuffs?
I think the Ravenclaws are almost like the jocks, like
Wow.
brave, very jockey, but not douchey jockey, but like I think most of I think like more like the sportier kids are like Ravenclaw, but they're also.
This is gonna suck to edit. Whew.
Have you ever had a harder time with somebody recording a podcast?
I've had harder times getting started, not in the process of it, but that's okay. So you were telling me about Hufflepuff.
Yeah, Hufflepuff. Okay. I'm trying to think. Hufflepuff, they're like kind of like the meek, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think what would be a good word. Like the quiet ones, like more the thinking ones. Like they're probably the smart kids are more in Hufflepuff. Slytherins, obviously the assholes, but also intelligent.
I'm not sure where all right, well, you settled it right there. I think I end up in Slytherin, and that isn't even me trying to be like fucking goth boy. But once you say like I don't know, I've had to come over a lot of my own dickhead tendencies, so I guess Slytherin is kind of where I belong.
No, I don't think you're Slytherin. You have to be completely all for yourself. Everything's got to be about you. And even if you are friends with people, it's only to further your own goals.
So I'm not selfish enough to be a Slytherin. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like I don't really fit in any.
So I would say I would put you either Gryffindor or Ravenclaw.
Like a jock. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit of a jock.
I don't know if I got Ravenclaw right. You have to look up Ravenclaw. I don't know if they're necessarily like jockey. They're like the brave. Like, but see, Gryffindor is brave too. But I think Ravenclaw is like more of like they're more of the hero. So if Harry was probably going to be anything else, I would think. Well, see, that's tough. I can't really get into all that. But
okay.
I think the Ravenclaws are like, if you can think of like the hero with the flowing hair type of thing, to me, that's what they've always represented. And the Hufflepuff was like more of the, but see, Hermione would fall. Well, she's not patient, so she wouldn't be. See, she would have either been a Hufflepuff or a Gryffindor, but then probably she's a Gryffindor because she's not patient and kind of, she's a little bit in your face. So yeah. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. This is the nerdiest conversation I've ever.
That's fine. All right. Everyone sits down to a grand feast to begin the year. Harry is overwhelmed by the variety of luscious food served because, again, despite living in a pantry, he's eaten nothing but horrible British orphan food. Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington, the resident ghost of Gryffindor, popularly known as Nearly Headless Nick because of a botched decapitation, introduces himself to the first-year students and tells them he hopes they will win the house championship this year. Which, God, dude, to think of ghost sports fans, it makes me hate South Philly even more. Just imagine, like, generations of dead Guidos. Like, I think the Birds are going to take it this year.
Yeah, they got it. No, the ghosts are depressing, though. Like, why, like, they have to, like, stay in that castle and just watch kids grow up. And,
oh yeah, like they don't have fucking families they'd rather be hanging out with. You just gotta hang out in a fucking painting your whole life.
Yeah, that's the other. Well, they're not even the paintings. The paintings, I'll tell you what, the paintings are one thing I've never understood in the whole world. Like, is that I don't know what those
are they aware it's not them.
That's what I mean. Like, because when they die, they go into that painting, but I don't think it is their spirit. It's almost like part of their. That's what I mean. I really don't understand the paintings.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very interested to get into this and find out the epistemology of this universe, like just the whole afterlife. Okay. Over dessert, the discussion turns to the children's upbringings. A student named Neville tells how his family thought he was a muggle until he survived a fall from a window. So yeah, here's a question I have about how this world works. So we know there are magical children born to muggles all the time. can magical parents have a muggle child? Because that must suck.
Yeah, they're called squibs.
I've only learned of them and I pity them immensely. Wow.
And they are pitied. If they do anything with magic, it's basically to be like a servant on the outside world. There's a few famous squibs in the book, and basically their job is they live in the real world, and they can facilitate things as a connection. But yeah, they are pitied hard. That's the thing. This book really gets into all the, calling people like mudbloods, which is, but the squibs are just, not even considered anything. Yes, they do. Usually the families will get rid of them.
Oh, wow. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
So, Steve, did you have any childhood trauma that convinced you that you were different from the other kids?
I don't think I've had any trauma that made me feel different from the other kids. I think, growing up where I did, and the amount of bullying, not just me. I mean, I wasn't anybody that was singled out.
Mm-hmm.
But it just was that's why it was just a natural part of life. Everybody got bullied. Even the bullies got bullied.
Yeah. Dude, that's why I thank God I just had the good fortune to be big, because like personality wise, I was a fucking tetherball. You could have beaten me all day.
No, see, I wasn't. That's why I used humor to get out of many a situation. Not all. I mean, that's the other thing. I would go. I mean, if I had to, but I didn't grow until college. We are like traditionally slow, like maturing individuals. I literally did not grow until like freshman year of college.
Mm-hmm.
If I weighed 100 pounds in high school, I'd be surprised. So yeah,
Wow.
I didn't have magic. I had to develop humor to try and get out of a lot of situations. But no, I didn't have any. I don't know. That's the thing. I come from a place where it's like the trauma that I probably have seen or experienced, you're told to kind of just get over it. You know what I mean?
Well, it does seem
So
like particularly I've noticed this with like city kids, the way you said, like, well, everybody got bullied. It does
yeah,
seem to be a benefit in it not being a unique trauma.
yeah. I mean, if I was the only one, I guess I could be like I was the only one. But when you're in the middle of it, you feel like the only one. But no, I mean, like there's a lot of things that happen that I'll be telling people stories, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's horrible. How did you?" And I'm like, "Well, you just got on with it. You just got over it. I mean, what were you going to do? You know what I mean? Like and that's not me shitting on, like people who go and talk to somebody. I think that's great. I mean, if you need to talk to somebody, that's great. I just don't think that wasn't, nobody did that when I grew up, or, where I was from. Nobody was like, oh yeah, Phil's going to his session today. Nobody did that. I mean, it was, just get over it. But I don't think I don't know. I guess probably all the traumas, you know, I don't want to get deep on a Harry Potter
All right,
podcast.
that's fine. That's fine. Harry glances around the room and notices a few of the teachers talking to one another. One of them stares malevolently at Harry, who immediately feels a sharp pain in his forehead scar. Harry finds out that this man is Professor
Mm,
Snape, who teaches potions. After dessert,
yes.
Dumbledore, the head of Hogwarts, gets up to make his welcome speech. He adds a few warnings about staying away from the Forbidden Forest and avoiding the third floor corridor on the right side of the school. Everyone sings the school song and they go off to his or her house. So yeah, here's something I can ask you. If you said, oh wait, did you say you read this before the movies came out?
No, so I saw the first movie. The
Mhm.
second movie was coming out. That's when I started reading the second book. Then I went
Okay.
back and read the first one.
See, I need to talk to somebody who. See, the thing is, having known enough about the movies, as soon as they talk about Snape, I'm picturing Alan Rickman. I really want to hear people who were reading these right away and what they thought these people looked like before they had, a certain casting thrown at them.
I mean, Alan Rickman is the shit. And I think he was perfect in that role. I don't know. I'm trying to think who I would cast if I did. I can't see anybody but Alan Rickman, who
David
I mean, I
Hasselhoff.
love. Yeah.
It does.
Tom Cruise
It
probably
honestly
pulled
still
off.
blows my mind that Alan Rickman is dead. It is like that was one
I
of the
know. Doesn't
first
that
deaths.
suck?
That was one of the first deaths where I was like, wait, I live in a world without Alan Rickman now? That doesn't make sense.
I just walked around saying Hans Gruber's dead all the time. I couldn't, but it's funny you passed over him meeting Snape. So if you look up, because I don't know it exactly, but talking about things that were planned and all, his first words to Harry are very significant and could only have meaning if this were a completely almost planned out world, because what he says to him is a reference to what you find out much later. Much later. I mean, you're talking about maybe 6 or definitely maybe 6, probably 6, because that's the Half-Blood Prince, I believe. Yeah. What he meant, and and she never even calls back to it. That's the best part.
The first thing Snape asks Harry is, wait, I don't know if this is, what does he say? Do you know this?
Yeah, he says, what do I get, like, if I put
if I added powdered root of asphodel to an infusion of wormwood.
And does it say what that means, though? It basically the old English words for those things.
According to Victorian flower language, asphodel is a type of lily, which is his mother's name, correct?
His mother's name
is a type of lily, meaning my regrets follow you to the grave. And wormwood means absence, and also typically symbolized bitter sorrow.
Yep.
Shit.
So that's
listener, go Google Snape's first words to Harry, and there's articles on that. That's interesting. That's great. Setting that up.
Because one, I mean, obviously, to know where the story was going, but then also refer to these things that she then would have had to reference. And you're talking, this was probably in what, 95, 96? What did she have, like a book of like old English floral terms?
Yeah, that's a very specific thing to just kind of know.
Yeah, but
I think you hit a blip.
Because where it does go is, I mean, it gets, obviously, but it gets way more adult as the book series goes on, which is also genius to go, okay, I'm going to write these books for these kids that are going to go from basically 11 to 18 years old.
Dude, you know what I've always wanted to see? I've always wanted to see a cartoon that aged every year. I don't know why I think that show Big Mouth is going to try it, but we'll see.
I'm trying to think, because I believe something like that exists, but I can't think off the top of my head. But
I think Steven Universe did it like a little bit, but they didn't keep it real that. Anyway, let's keep rolling with this because it's a school night. Chapter 8: The Potions Master. Harry finds life at Hogwarts unfamiliar and strange. Everyone talks about him, and an adult always seems to be around when he's doing something wrong. Harry finds all the classes interesting, with the exception of the history of magic. In the first Transfiguration class, where students are taught how to turn one thing into another, only Hermione is able to make any progress at turning a match into a needle. Harry is relieved to see that others are just as lost as he is. Bickel, tell me, when was the time that all the other kids were talking about you?
I'm still waiting for them to start talking about me. Who the hell talked? Nobody talked about me. You mean like behind my back, like thing?
I'm just trying to think if there was ever I'm trying to think for myself if there was an event that, like, if I was like the talk of the school. Actually, no, I can think of the one time. It was middle school. I was the first of my friends to finger a girl. That was it. And then I did not get anywhere near a vagina for 5 more years.
I'm still trying to get there. No, I played the national anthem, I think in 6th grade, before a basketball game on the saxophone.
Ooh.
And I think I was like the shit for like I think I was the shit for like 5 minutes to somebody who was like, that's gay. And that was the end of that.
So funny.
That was it. I was like, okay.
I love how kids are so dismissive of that. Like you better be the coolest fucking guy ever, or like they're just gonna cut you in two.
Oh yeah, no, there was nobody rising out of the crab pot.
No, tall poppy. All right. During breakfast the first Friday, Harry's owl Hedwig, who delivers mail, arrives with a tea invitation from Hagrid. Later, in his potions class, Harry discovers that Snape really does not like him, mocking Harry as our new celebrity, and then humiliating Harry for his ignorance of herbs. Herbs. Well, I guess if it's British, it's herbs, and if it's us, it's herbs. Harry brings
Herbs,
Ron.
yeah.
Yeah. Harry brings Ron with him to Hagrid's. I almost fucked up. Hagrid's shack for tea. Harry and Ron are disconcerted by Hagrid's huge and fierce-looking dog, Fang, but discover that he is gentle. Hagrid tells Harry that he is overreacting to Snape's treatment, asserting that Snape would have no reason to hate him. Harry happens to notice an article from the Wizard newspaper detailing a break-in that occurred at Gringotts Bank. Gringotts Totally Not Jews Goblin Bank, in a vault that had been emptied earlier in the day. He realized...
Yeah, that didn't age well.
No, it did not. No. He realized that it happened on his birthday, the day he and Hagrid went to Gringotts. Furthermore, he remembers that Hagrid emptied Vault 713, taking a small package with him as he left. Harry leaves Hagrid's, his mind filled with questions. So, yeah, I don't have any questions for that. That's just that chapter summary.
I was always amazed, even when I read this the first time, the amount of access Hagrid had to like these kids, like in private settings.
Yeah, actually, the janitor and groundsman and caretaker, he's
Yeah.
And he's Scottish. He's basically gigantic groundskeeper Willie.
And the kids would just go hang at his shack.
Yeah. So we didn't have a guy.
Never sat right.
So funnily enough, we didn't have that guy in my school. We had a different Simpsons character. There was a guy named Bus Driver Bill. So very much like Otto, but he was into like heavy metal and shit, and he would like hang out with the kids, and it was very uncomfortable. I got high with Bus Driver Bill quite a few times. Then come to find out he's a born again Christian amidst all these other things. I learned about the rapture while very high at 15 at Bus Driver Bill's house that he shared.
We had the same bus driver. His name was Otto, and seriously, and we he just let us smoke on the bus all the time.
That is an awesome bus driver.
He was great. Yeah, he was great. I mean, he would definitely be fired by today's standards. But yeah, he would just be like, yeah, whatever, until like I think some kid told his mom we were all smoking on the bus. And I mean, imagine what Weasel had to go home and tell his mom, they're smoking on the bus.
Narc piece of shit. I can feel my little lungs hurting.
Yeah, went home and told his mom.
It is fun to think back of just like older people you hung out with that were really cool. Like we hung out with so my best friend had a sister 4 years older than him, and she dated a guy named Rich. And even after they broke up, we hung out with Rich because he just like worked on cars all day and smoked weed and listened to metal. And now we realize like that dude was like 23 hanging out with two 15-year-olds and a random wheelchair guy who lived in the neighborhood. What the fuck was happening there?
It was weird. That is weird. You can look back. I'm glad that you can at least look back now and be like, there was something wrong with him, because there was a dude in our neighborhood that used to like, everybody hung out like on the corner and all, but like this guy would hang out. We were like 15, and yeah, he was like 21. It's like, and now I look back and I'm like, but I think even at like 15, I was like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Like, you know, it's just something creepy about it. And I'm like, and he would go buy beer for us and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the only benefit was like he didn't try to fuck any of the girls we brought around. That would have been the thing that like ding ding ding, like this isn't good. We need to get away from this guy.
He was trying to fuck somebody. You don't know.
Was he trying to? Was he trying to fuck me, Steve? I was so low. I was so lonely at the time. I might have given him a go.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying it was you or guys or girls, but he was trying to fuck somebody. There's no reason.
That was during the dry spell. That was during the dry spell after the fingering. So I might have been desperate enough.
Still a little moisture left on that thing.
The fingerer has become the fingered. Okay, this is a Harry Potter podcast. No, dude, I want to rename the show just because Kill Your Gods, it turns out, is really not great for the algorithm because number one, kill, that's getting sorted
Yeah.
out. Gods,
Mhm.
that too. But it's not going to be just a Harry Potter thing. So I don't know what the fuck to make it for books. But I'm just trying to call this series like Comedians Read Harry Potter because I feel like that's what you're getting out of it. You're getting funny people who are riffing on this nonsense and we're talking about Fang, and then next thing you know, we're talking about weirdos fingering us, and that's how it goes. That's the appeal.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody finds it funny or they're just like, what the like. They were talking about poison ivy on their dick, and they end it with fingering, and it's supposed to be about chapters 5, 6, and 7 of Harry Potter.
Dude, I hope some fucking kid listens to this instead of a book report. That's all I want out of life. Come hang out in my garage, listen to Metallica while I work on my car, kids.
Well, there you go. You could be the old dude hanging out with the teenagers. I could see you doing that.
Dude, I'm in a neighborhood now where there's some kids coming up. Like we want to have kids too, but like they'll definitely. I'll be sitting on the front
definitely
porch.
got that look.
Yeah. No, I have a plan. I'm going to sit on the front porch in a rocking chair with my guitar, and some stragglers will wander by and like, "Ooh, will you teach me a song, Mr. Dram?" Yeah, go get that wine out of the fridge. I'll play you a number or two.
Here's a cigarette. You guys know about menthol?
Yeah, menthol. I can't get it legally anymore. But
yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up. Chapter 9, Midnight Duel. Harry is upset by the news that the Gryffindors will have flying lessons with the Slytherins because he does not want to spend more time with Draco Malfoy. Madam Hooch, great character name, Madam Hooch, leads the class, gently sending the new flyers off the ground on their broomsticks. Neville has an accident and breaks his wrist immediately. Hooch takes him to the hospital, telling everyone to stay on the ground while she is away. Malfoy notices a magic ball belonging to Neville, picks it up, and begins to fly around with it. Harry goes after Malfoy, who throws the ball in the air. Harry catches it spectacularly and lands safely back on the ground. Just then, Professor McGonagall arrives, reprimanding Harry and ordering him to follow her. But instead of punishing him, McGonagall introduces him to Oliver Wood, captain of the Gryffindor Quidditch team, explaining that Harry will make an excellent Quidditch player. Steve, tell me about a time you discovered a talent for the first time.
I think playing an instrument being funny in a group, that was always my talent, and it was very important to me. But then because I started playing music pretty young, and no one else did that. Like I was the only kid in the neighborhood that played an instrument, which is insane. Like a lot of people pick guitar up and shit in their teens, but like I mean I was playing when I was like 9 years old. So I was known as like the music guy.
Nice. Yeah. Although
saxophone wasn't the coolest of instruments.
Yeah, that's true. You'd have to really like impress some like older black gentleman on the corner, like just hoping they'll give you a little bit of attention. Curtis Lowe style.
Well, I should say it wasn't that cool in grade school, but college it definitely paid for itself.
Hell yeah! Talking about fingering in two ways.
Oh, both hands.
At dinner, Harry excitedly tells Ron about joining the Quidditch team. This is a big deal because like they do not let first years onto the Quidditch team. This is a huge fucking deal that he's going to be in here. But yeah, Malfoy comes over with his cronies Crabbe and Goyle and teases Harry about getting in trouble earlier. The tension grows and Malfoy challenges Harry to a wizard's duel. Harry accepts in spite of Hermione's attempt to dissuade them from breaking the school rules about, using magic before you're ready. As Harry and Ron sneak out later that night, Hermione tries to stop them, but gets locked out of the dorm and must tag along. Neville, wandering around lost, also joins them. Fucking Neville just is a tag along by definition.
That's his story.
They arrive at the trophy room, the site of the duel, but Malfoy is nowhere to be found. Suddenly, they hear Argus Filch, the school caretaker, and his cat, Mrs. Norris. They begin to hide and then run away. Not sure where they're going, They accidentally end up in the forbidden area that Dumbledore mentioned on the third floor, staring at a large and scary three-headed dog. The children manage to get back to their dorm safely, though they are terrified. Hermione reprimands Harry, but stirs his curiosity by pointing out that the dog was standing on a trapdoor. So, yeah, we're going to find out that they think the dog is hiding something, protecting something, and yeah, that's that. That's where we are right now. I'm realizing now,
I mean,
unlike... Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
No, please. I was going to say something different.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, it's funny how those chapters play out. It's like, it's definitely for an 11, 12-year-old. And it's like, these chapters are all like leading up, very explain everything and bam, 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 here you go. And just really moving the story along, and how it towards the end, it becomes more of, an adult book where not everything is explained to you, much more, topics that go a lot deeper. But, I reminisce about, how simple, it's almost like a Dan Brown book, just very simple, explain everything at the end.
Mm-hmm. No, I do like that kind of writing. Again, this book having started as Infinite Jest, like that just intentionally dense writing was just not fun to read. And that was actually the thing I was about to say before I said that. That's too far off topic. Is like, I'm realizing now, as opposed to the other books I've done on this podcast, this might be the first book I've done where it would take you longer to listen to the podcast than to just read the fucking pages we're covering. But doesn't matter. This is still fun. I'm having a good time with this. But
yeah, why not?
Yeah. So anyway, I think that wraps up our episode, Steve. It only took 15 attempts that I will have to edit together. That actually won't, as long as the levels are fine, that won't take long.
I apologize. I really do. I apologize for being technologically inept.
It's your fault. I'm gonna have all this editing to do.
Guys.
It's your fault I have poison oak and tetanus, and it's your fault that I have poison oak on my butthole and my penis.
That's all right. I can come over, give you a little scratch here and there.
Oof, talk about
and you can
apology.
You can show me that trick with the flashlight.
Hell yeah. All right, Steve, thanks for doing this. Tell us again where you're at, where we can find you, what you got coming up. This will be coming out in the next 2 days because we're recording this on the usual release date. So I'm getting this one out there.
You can find me on Facebook, Steve Bickel, SteveBickel, Instagram, Speak Easy Philly.
When is Speakeasy coming back?
Oh, dude, I know. I just was talking to Lemare the other day too, and I don't know. There, I'll talk to you.
Yeah. Even Perry said like that was her favorite show to like hang out at. And
everybody loved that show. That was the hangout show. I mean, I think, I don't think it was a fluke either. I think, other than having a great bar to do that at, but that's always, I mean, that was exactly what I wanted it to be. And it turned out to be exactly what I wanted it to be. I was like, look, just come out, we'll hang out. Everybody can jump up on stage at some time, but it's not going to seem like, you know what I mean? Like people have 20 comics and they're all doing 25 minutes. And then hang out, so, but hopefully we're cooking something up. So
awesome.
Hopefully within, the next few months, we'll have something going, but whatever. But no, I'll be, for anybody in the area, I'll be at the Wissahickon Wine Bar. That should be right around the corner from you.
Yes, it is. I can't wait. I'll probably stop in on that tomorrow. Just like poke my head in.
Yeah, it's a good little mic to hit, but I'm gonna do like a little spot there, little feature spot there next Tuesday, and then after that I'm on vacation, and then hitting things back up in September. But I'll have all that stuff up. I mean,
perfect. So yeah,
find me.
Go follow him, Steve Bickel, Speak Easy Philly. I'm going to end this the way I end every episode. We're going to stop recording, but me and Steve are still going to talk, and you're not allowed to listen to that. Goodbye. This has been the Harry Potter Fingering Podcast. Don't trust the Carpenters.